What is up, everybody? It's the mailman, Jimmy Milstead, the commissioner of the League Fantasy Hockey Season 2. And we've kind of been on a little hiatus here the last few weeks, but we're going to catch up on all things hockey as we've just completed week 6 of the fantasy season, week 6 of the NHL. Busy week of hockey the last few weeks, lots to cover. You had the Global Series over in Sweden, all kinds of storylines going. But it is Monday, November the what Stork 20th, 2023, and we're here with episode 8 of the Storks Desk, and I am joined by, as always, my deputy, the deputy commish, Kevin Stork from Surrey, BC.
Maple Ridge.
Maple Ridge. I get that wrong. I think that's a gimmick I'm doing, but you've got so many fantasy team names: Langley, Surrey. It doesn't matter though. You're with me. How you doing, Storky?
I'm good, but like I said before the show, I am not a happy camper. My team lost the last 2 weeks, close games, and it went right down to the last game on the last day, and I just couldn't get the job done offensively. My goaltending was beautiful again, and I'm not very happy, Jimmy. I'm 2-4 now. I was 2-4 last year, and I turned it around, so I expect to do the same thing. But yeah, I'm spitting nails for week 7.
Yep,
And who's my opponent? Oh yeah, Nick.
Woo.
Yeah, we're gonna take care of Nick this week.
Who's
and
Nick?
Put him out of his misery.
We haven't seen the Colonel Nick Reedy in over a month, buddy. This guy, we've had problems coordinating together. Life's getting in the way, man. We need to get the Colonel back on. He's struggling as well. We'll get into him in a minute, but yeah, you're 3-0 all time versus Nick, and we got to set up a stipulation. He still owes both of us.
4.
Oh, is it 4?
No, he's gonna be.
Oh,
4,
he's gonna be 4. Okay, yeah. We only had 3 meetings last year between division opponents. But, he still owes you a Leafs logo on the show, and he owes me a Caps logo on the show. But yeah, we'll get him in due time. Nick Reedy struggling. I was struggling. Stork, the Adna Express. That was my football team. The Adna Americans. I need to wake up. It was a late night. We in Adna struggled the last 2 weeks, losing 2 heartbreakers to Waylon Womack's Washington Wendigo and Julio Verilius Huma. He's got a good squad, but I lost on the last day by 1 point to each. Well, I think Julio ended up beating me by a couple, but it was close. 2 heartbreakers, and then I come back with a big division win against heavily touted Nova Fire Brigade, the runners-up last year. Scott Lanham, a tip of the cap to him. We had a kind of a lopsided match for Scott. He just had a bad scheduling week, I think, but all cylinders were firing here in Adna, buddy. I feel pretty good. Division record's looking good. I can't win against the Gretzky division, but I'm feeling good. Stork 3-3 on my end. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it didn't help me that with the Global Series and everything, it didn't help me that 2 of my top stars only played 2 games last week. So that hurt me too. So that kind of put me in a bad spot. But like I said, I'm going to bounce back this week.
I think I have the wrong slide up here. What is that? Anyways, that's this week's.
That's week's.
Yeah, Storky, what'd you think of the Global Series over in Sweden? Your Toronto Maple Leafs look pretty good. William Nylander, what's he got, a 16-game point streak? Him and Breadman of the Rangers. Breadman's played less games, I think, but he's got a streak as well. Impressive season, William Nylander. I think we might have mentioned him before on this show. What's going on in Leafs land, man? They look pretty good.
Well, if there was any doubts of signing him this year, there probably isn't now. I think they need to make room and sign this guy to a contract whether it's a 4-year term or an 8-year term, but they gotta nail this guy down because they cannot let him go. As you know, he's a free agent at the end of the season, and the Leafs have some time to get it signed, but I think it's a priority to get Wee Willie on the contract for next year.
Yeah, each game that passes by, that price tag is going to be pretty impressive.
Well, it's going to be anywhere from 10 to 12 million a season now. So
yeah, just seems like yesterday. What was he almost sat out a whole year because he couldn't get a deal, but now, man, he is probably one of the better ones of the core four this year there in TO. So I know you got to be feeling good there. Like I said, we're kind of behind here on the Storks desk. We haven't talked really in over 2 weeks. Real quick, reviewing Week 5 matchups. That was a Gretzky versus Ovechkin division. If you can see in the background of me, like I said, I lost a heartbreaker to Julio, 11-9. That was a back and forth matchup. Julio ended up beating me by a few shots. Stork beat the Woody Woodpeckers. Mark Wood, he's having a good season. That was a good win for you, 13-7 2 weeks ago, buddy. The champs, DB Cooper, 14-5 winners over the Wendigo. Whalen took it on the chin there, but overall he's had a pretty good season. The champs get Whalen there pretty good. Whalen had previously beaten Mark. Probert Etiquette is still the number 1 seed. They have 1 loss, and that was Week 5. It was to the Nova Fire Brigade. Scott had a great week that week. A little off week for Dave. He's of course was missing Jack Hughes, a big part of his lineup. Jack Hughes has since returned. The Cherry Bombs, they were in first place at this point in Week 5. They had beaten DuPont 10-9 in a nail biter. Tim took it on the chin, but Tim's playing pretty good fantasy hockey now. He's starting to wake up. And then, like we said, we mentioned Nick. He's been struggling. He did get the win in Week 5, 15-6 over Dan Hull and the new team of the Killer Bunnies. Dan Hull, he is really struggling. He's at 1-5 right now, buddy. What are your thoughts on Dan Hull? You think he has time to get back in it?
Well, I mean, there's still lots of hockey left, but he definitely needs to put a couple of W's together right now. He's got to get his line straight. I understand he's having some issues with his computer, and he's struggling with that. So hopefully he can fix that and get back while it's still early, because we're still young in the season. But 1-5, you do not want to go 1-6, because that's a long hill to climb. So yeah, he's definitely got to get it together this week.
Yeah, so Gretzky versus OV stats back there in Week 5. It ended up being this time the Gretzky winning 4 of those matchups to the OV's 2. On the season, it's deadlocked, Stork. Both teams at 6-6, or both divisions going against each other. This time the Gretzky got one in on the OV. All time, I don't have those numbers in front of me, so I'll wait for the next time we play those. That'll be Week 8, the week after this one here on Thanksgiving. But that brings us to last week, buddy. Any final thoughts on Week 5?
No, it was the last time I won a game, so I was pretty happy about it. But yeah, I mean, we got a long season, like I said, and the teams are still jockeying for position. Some teams are on a roll, and some teams are struggling out of the gate. That's usual. But again, like I've said many times, parity runs this league, and it's going to be a dogfight right to Week 21.
Yeah, and my hat's off to my opponent that week, Julio. Like I said, that was one of the more entertaining. I like to pay attention to all the fantasy matchups, especially as commish. But I was watching that stat tracker every night, and we were re-upping back and forth. Kudos to Julio. My only meeting of him this year, unless we meet in the playoffs. He got me goaltending. It seemed like he had a goaltender every night. That was a busy week there in Week 5. he just stayed one step ahead of me at the end there. But the flip-flop the leads. That's what I enjoy about this, Stork. If you got a great matchup, we took turns with block shots. He kicked my butt, and I'm having troubles in face-offs with Tage Thompson being out. That's another topic to talk about. Holy crap. My number one draft pick, Stork, the Buffalo Sabres, is kind of a mess right now. But Julio got me that week, and I really appreciate he's getting red hot, man. You got to like how Julio's playing in fantasy. I did tally up, Stork, the all-time Ovechkin versus Gretzky. It is the Gretzky 24 wins to 22 for the Ovi, and there's been 2 draws between the 2 divisions in 2 years here. So, like I said,
close.
Yeah, it's neck and neck. I know I'm not very good against the Gretzky, but I am doing great in my division, and I'd rather have that anyways. So let's move on, shall we, to last week. We can talk more in depth there. We didn't have a Commissioner's Corner. Let's go over the results here. If I can find my current slide here. This is where I got to have a producer or something. Where's last week's results here? It was another divisional week. Like I said, a lot of games early. Did you wake up yesterday, Stork, to watch that Global Series?
I was up at 4:30 in the
Coast?
morning, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I couldn't sleep through a Leaf game. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I made sure I went to bed early on Saturday night and was up at 4:30, ran to the coffee pot and got that ready. Jumped in the shower and just in time for puck drop.
I ended up catching the third period, and that's where it looks like Wild were in it, and they went to overtime. William Nylander, like we said, mentioned in overtime, won it there. A lot of Sweden stars there throughout. The Senators, the Red Wings, they all had a hand. Great week of hockey there. I thought the NHL did a good job there, but I missed the first 2 periods. I was at a T-Birds hockey game. I had all the intentions of joining you at 5 o'clock a.m. Wasn't in the cards, but last week's schedule, divisional week 6 matchups. The matchup of the week was DB Cooper. They take it on the chin. First ever win for Julio, the aforementioned Huma. He's red hot, Stork. 12-8 gets one in on the champion. So a big win. Julio's back in that Gretzky division race.
I told you to watch out for Julio a long time ago.
Our buddy Nick Reedy is just, I think it's because maybe some of his Minnesota Wild are struggling. Kaprizov is just in a hole right now, and that is not helping Nick's Frozen Norseman. Not the champs, the maybe heavily favored to be the champs. Dave Snowgrove, Probert Etiquette, is 5-1 after taking that loss to Scott in Week 5, 16-3. Stork over Nick. Nick's not here to talk about that one. We can dive into that matchup here in a minute.
Ghost like Swayze, man. He's ghost like Swayze.
Yeah, we'll somehow get Nick on here soon. I promise, guys. The Killer Bunnies, like we said, they've been struggling. They're only 1-5. Whalen looking good there, and the Ovechkin beats the Killer Bunnies in their first ever meeting, 12-6. The Woody Woodpeckers, after a loss in Week 5, they get a big win over the Cherry Bombs in the first ever meeting between Alex and Mark Wood. 11-9. The Woody Woodpeckers looks like they took over the division lead. DB Cooper, like we said, lost to Huma 12-8. Stork, your Langley Scorpions, first ever win, I think, for Tim Kelly over you. Pipe Layers, they're starting to wake up. Remember, Don Cherry had them going a long ways, and they had a rough start. But Tim, who was, as GM, relaxing in Hawaii over there, he says hi, by the way. And
I'm sure he does.
He enjoyed that win.
Tell him he can thank the Global Series for that win last week.
Yeah, we'll get Tim on the show here soon. He was interested in coming on, but he's back at work after a vacation there in Hawaii. And then the Ad-Americans, myself, get a big win to tie the series all time with Scott Lanham. Tip of the cap to Scott. Like I said, 14-5 was the score. I was never confident until Sunday. Scott just, I don't know what his problem is. I think he had some goaltending issues. We can dive into that if you want, Stork. Or do you want to go with Don Cherry's rankings real quick?
Yeah, let's get that over with.
Okay, Stark wants to see what Donnie Boy's picking on him now. Those were the results last week, guys. Let's see. Do I have the right week? What's that say? Yeah, the Probert etiquette is for they've been on top the whole season. Nothing new here. As you can see, thoughts on the number one seed there. What do you think of Dave's squad right now? He is humming along.
Boo. I can't wait to
So,
play him again, but we all knew he was going to be tough at the beginning of the season. He's got a good squad, lots of balance. He's got goaltending. He's going to be tough to beat. But like I said, we're all going to run into those bad streaks where we lose a couple and it starts to jam up in the standings again. And I expect nothing less from Probert. I think he's heading for a couple of losses, and I can't wait to see it.
yeah, his nemesis, Mark Raymond, the champs. He's never beaten them. He's got them on the docket this week. Mark Raymond kind of sour after a loss to Julio. We'll see how that goes starting tonight. Stork, a lot of storylines in that one. We'll get into that in a minute. Cherry, though, I was on the phone with him just a minute ago. What do you think? When Dingo move up a spot from 3 to 2, kind of disrespecting Mark Wood's Woody Woodpeckers. Mark technically is in first place, but he's got Mark, who also moved up in third there, buddy. Any thoughts on that? What do you
No,
think,
I
Scott?
mean he was well deserving. He's been playing well, and he's one of those other teams that are competing for a playoff spot. So I expect to see him in that race all season.
Well, I guess they're both 4-2. I don't know what I was talking about. I thought Mark maybe had
No, they're both 4-2.
Yeah, they're both 4-2. Never mind. So the champs, Stevie Cooper, Mark, he's kind of fallen off here and there, but he always comes back up. After a couple weeks in number 2, he drops to number 4. DB Cooper always consistent with free agent pickups. We'll see if he can rebound with a win here. Huma, this might be the farthest he's come up this year with a couple straight wins. Donnie moved him up to number 5, man. Huma likes those Vegas Golden Knights. Logan Thompson hasn't been playing that great, but he always picks it up in goal. Bobrovsky's his other goalie. What do you think of the Florida Panthers, Stork? Coming off a West Coast trip. They get the Oilers tonight. I'm going to watch. I'm going to be flipping a couple games, Stork. What are your thoughts on Florida Panthers? Barkov, I think, got hurt.
Yeah, that doesn't help them at all. Barkov is one of the key players in Florida, and that he's on a couple of my teams, so it bothers me that he's out, but Florida has a way of staying in it. Another team another guy that they're missing is Montour, who hasn't played, so they got a good team, and expect Kachuk to lead the way for them while Barkov's gone.
Yeah, they got their defenseman back, Aaron Ekblad, and Brandon Montour. I know
back,
Scott was happy.
Reinhardt's been red hot, so
Yeah, that's one of Nick Reedy's players, Sammy Reinhardt. I think he's probably could be very much their MVP on their team.
he's a quiet leader in the NHL. You don't hear a lot about him,
Yeah.
but he's always there.
He's been star. I don't know if he's first star, but he was a first star. He was another star of the week for at least 2 times this year already. Back to the poll here. Don Cherry is finally giving me a little bit of respect after taking out of the chin 2 weeks. I came up from number 10 to 6. I seem like I can never get past spot 5. I'm going to try my best this week to try to beat Mark and get some respect by Donnie. Scott back down a little bit. He drops from 4 to 7. We'll see if he can rebound. The Cherry Bombs, they've been fluttering there in the mushy middle. Alex doing a great job. A little bit inconsistent. She drops to number 8. DuPont's moved up a little bit. Donnie's always got a sweet spot for Timmy. He goes from number 11 to 11 to 9. Dang, Langley. Stork, what do you think? You were at number 7 and dropped down to 10 now. Do you think this is a
Yeah.
fair assessment?
Well, it is this week after those 2 losses, and hats off to DuPont. He gave me a pipeline.
All right. And then the
And my
Frozen
ass
Norseman.
hurts.
Oh man, family show, but we can all put our mini boners away. Anyways, Langley at 10. Frozen Norseman continue to kind of flutter. They've been up and down there in the mom's basement, but they're at 11. And then Dan Hall Killer Bunnies back at number 12 after they were at number 12 last week. I think Dan's a better team than this.
Yeah.
I expect him to keep the good fight. I could see him getting a win over Alex this week. There's the battle of expansions this week. We'll dive into that in a minute. But there's Donnie Boy's rankings. Donnie Boy went 5-1 last week, buddy. He's feeling pretty good about himself. For the season, he improves to 16-19 on league matchups. Stork, I got your record. You're actually the best out of all of us picking league matchups. You're 19-16, but you went 2-4 last week, man.
It was disappointing.
Picking yourself too much, but I like
Langley disappointed me.
Nick was doing pretty good, but he went 2-4 last week as well. He's now at 17-18 for the year. And me, I'm going to start to talk to Don, but I did go 4-2 last week. I'm now 13-22
Yeah, that's
picking
not
games. So we'll get into our picks a little later down the line. Cherry, though, is bouncing back. He wants to get over that 500 mark all the seasons. Let's go back to the scoreboards. There's Storky for last week. I wanted to dive in and see who's red hot. If I can find my Yahoo page. Let's go to your matchup. You took one on the chin to DuPont, 11-9. I like the way your goaltending was last week, though, buddy. You're talking about your goalies. Yeah, your goaltending's been humming. You had a 1.67 GAA, went 3-0. I thought your offense was decent. It was just Tim had 47 points among his skaters. He kind of struggled in nets.
And it seemed like he got them all on Sunday.
That's crazy. I'm looking at Travis Konechny. Those Philadelphia Flyers, they're second in the Metro. Torts has this team humming. Do you see this as a full season turnaround, or I thought they were a rebuild team? They're kind of ruining their chances at getting a good pick. But I know NHL players aren't thinking of that. But
this is a common Torts team. At the beginning of the season, he's got them rolling, and I don't know. At some point, they just fall on their face and stop playing for him. So we'll see how it goes this year. I don't see the Flyers keeping this up all season. No.
So so that was you have Travis Konechny. I was looking at your team.
I do, yes.
Matthews has been humming along. Does he still leads the league in goals, right?
Yes.
Or is that Nylander? Okay. Verhaeghe, he had a 3-point week. Looks like he had Tolvanen. Kraken have been up and down. I can't tell for them. Mitchie Marner's getting a lot of apples. Who else stood out? Jesper Bratt, Devils. He's been kind of picking up the slack without Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes back now. I noticed he shoots the puck a lot for you. But Travis Konechny, it seems like every time I watch the Flyers, this guy's putting pucks in net. So overall, I thought your offense was good. But Swayman and Gorgiev have just been killing it for you. Their save percentages have been lights out. GAA, Swayman doesn't even get all the starts, but every time he's in, it seems like I wonder if is he starting tonight? They play the Lightning tonight.
No, I think Allmark starts tonight.
Okay. And the Avalanche, they should get a win in Nashville, I believe. I'm assuming Gorgiev might get the start there for you.
He's scheduled to start tonight too, so I don't have any choice today. I'm hoping Georgiev gets the start today.
So kudos to Tim. The guy's lighting it up for him. Jack Eichel, they're on a East Coast swing. They're not playing the greatest hockey, Vegas, the champs. But 4 points so far last week for Eichel. Marchessault was doing a great job as well. He had a 4-point week. 5-point week for Devin Taves on the blue line. Wow. And he wasn't even their best defenseman because Cale Makar had the #1 star of the week, Stork. Real quick before I even move on to review the rest of your matchup, here were the 3 stars. Cale Makar was the #1 star of the week. Photo doesn't want to load. I had it set up here. Unbelievable. This is where you need a producer, buddy.
There we go.
Yeah. There it is. Open that sucker up. So William Nylander, your boy there, he also had a great week there in Sweden, like we talked about. Cale Makar, he's not even. I don't even think he's the best defenseman in the league right now. Quinn Hughes could be made argument for Norris right now. Early in the season, Canucks are rolling, and old reliable Sidney Crosby, he ended up getting the 3rd star of the week for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are they're a weird team. They seem like they win and then they lose. So we'll see how Pittsburgh. That Metro is tough to predict. The 2 disappointment starts, I would say, is the Devils and Hurricanes. They're not exactly lighting it up there.
No.
So, but back to your matchup. Those were the 3 stars of this week, by the way. What about Kyle Connor? This guy, I don't think he gets any kind of love, man. He kind of killed you last week. 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points.
Yeah, DuPont spread the love last week with all their players. They got a lot of guys that showed up for the whole week, and it completely buried me. That's for sure. He's got a good team. I mean, let's face it. DuPont is going to be a challenge for a playoff spot for sure.
So he didn't really get a lot of great goaltending starts, but Oettinger had a rough outing against Colorado. His GAA was up. He gets a big game tonight versus the Rangers. I'm going to be flipping to that game as well. So, Timmy, if he gets some goaltending, I like his team. He can be a thorn in people's sides. So, Storky will have to rebound against a team that we hope to get a stipulation. Nick Reedy this week. Langley versus the Frozen Norseman, and you lead that series, buddy, all time 3-0. Tim will play on against Julio, and let's review. That was the matchup of the week last week, as we said. The Julio Huma beat the defending champs 12-8. Julio actually got a lot of goal scoring and points. He didn't have a lot of goals versus me the previous week, but he did put a lot of apples up. But he was a -20. That's kind of weird how that works. Julio likes to use a lot of goaltending, but he did not have a successful goaltending week. That's how DB Cooper was in it. DB Cooper had the better of the goaltending. We talked about this offline, Stork. What are you thinking about all the shorthanded points? In this matchup, Huma beat Mark 2-1 in shorties. That right there is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you go through the whole season, you'll probably be amazed of how many shorthanded goals we've had this year. A hell of a lot more than past years that I can remember, and they're still coming. I mean, every day you see a shorty.
Yeah, so, I know. I've had way more shorthanded points on my team alone than I did last year.
Oh yeah, I mean every team has. Everybody's got some shorthanded goals, and I mean, right now we're not sure if it's just an anomaly or style of play, or because it's young in the season and a lot of sloppy play on the power play. We just don't know.
So DB Cooper, I have no doubt he'll rebound this week. He's got a guy. What do you think of Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the blue line? This guy's kind of had a resurgence there in Florida.
Yeah.
I think with the loss of Ratko Gudas, they actually got a good offensive weapon there. We'll see what it comes down to playoff time. That's a team I had wrong, buddy. I think the Florida Panthers are definitely going to be a playoff team. But Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Mark's got him there. I'm trying to look at any other standouts that Mark had. 4-point week from Brandon Rust. Robertson's been kind of quiet, 2 assists last week. And other than that, nothing big time for DB Cooper. He'll have to get it going this week against a red-hot Dave. Julio, just a 5-point week for Nate McKinnon, all assists, but I don't hear a lot on his end. He continues to put up points. Evander Kane ended up having a hat trick against the Kraken. He had a 4-goal week. Mark Stone continues to pile up points. Quinn Hughes, that's where his landing spot is. He is on Huma's squad. He gave me headaches the week before. Just a 5-point week for Quinn Hughes. He just dominates and skates well all over the ice. I don't even know how many miles that guy skates during a game, but he never seems like he leaves the ice, Stork.
Yeah, he's super. I mean, all the Hughes are just impressive hockey players in different ways. And like I said, when their careers are over, we're going to be talking about the Hughes brothers for a long time. I guarantee it.
So Julio, he uses a lot, like this was against me. He uses a big goaltending carousel. He's carrying 3 goalies, but if those guys aren't starting, he even picked up Lucas Dostal and Anthony Stolarz. Stolarz got him a win. Dostal gave up 8 goals, unfortunately for him. So Julio lives and dies by free agent goalie pickups because Vanacek's not really doing very well in Jersey.
No.
Logan Thompson, I think he's a better a pretty good goaltender, but he has struggled with team play in front of him. He gave up a lot of goals against Montreal. And Bobrovsky's been his best goalie, I think. And we'll see Bob versus the Oilers, I think, tonight. I'm excited about tonight's schedule, Stork, in the NHL. 7 games on the slate to begin week 7 here. So Huma, a big win, and he's on fire right now. So the champs will have to lick their wounds as they take on Probert Etiquette, and I'll look forward to that matchup. That is, by the way, Don Cherry's matchup of the week. The defending champs versus Dave Snellgrove's Probert Etiquette. Let's talk about Mark Wood's team. 11-9 win over the Cherry Bombs. First ever meeting. Cherry Bombs, they're struggling because they have Connor McDavid. He's starting to wake up a little bit. I like Mark Wood's team, Stork. 35 points they put up this week, and he has a great stable of goaltenders. Vasi's getting healthy. He's got him on the IR. He's going to have to do something roster-wise. But Mark only was 1-2 in the nets. Alex was actually better than him. Well, not so much. Mark got enough categories to take her record was 2-1 with goalies. He was only 1-2, but he's good in the faceoff dot. 177 faceoff wins. So kudos to Mark there. Let's take a look at some of his standouts. He had Leon Draisaitl with a 6-point week. Sergachev on the blue line, a 5-point week there in Tampa. Tampa scores goals, Stork. They play the Boston Bruins tonight. Who are you liking that one, man?
Well, that is Boston-Tampa games are always exciting to watch, and it's a fun contest because they really don't like each other, and they haven't for a few seasons now. But, yeah, it should be a really good game tonight.
And speaking of Boston, little outside noise. What do you think of Milan Lucic? He might not even play hockey again. Involved in a domestic dispute with a family member.
Yeah.
Hopefully he didn't.
I don't see Milan coming back after this. I think this is basically a career ender for a guy that's well up in age now. I don't see Boston even thinking about putting him back in the lineup after this. So, yeah, I mean, we're probably going to see him officially retire soon.
Yeah, I'll let the due process go and take care of itself there before I really have any thoughts. But that's
I mean, we all make mistakes and everything that. But he's he's an NHL hockey player. And the NHL scorns that kind of nonsense in personal life. Everybody is in a microscope, and they got to be careful what they do off the ice as well as on the ice. So, yeah, I don't see him coming back.
Yeah, all the best to the family members affected by that situation, and hope things get better there on that front. Terrible news there for Boston fans because I know they were happy to get him back. So they'll have to move on without him, it looks like. So as far as the Cherry Bombs, offensively, they had a 4-point week from Evan Bouchard on the blue line. I mean, typical Oilers stuff. They get a lot of points. Can they defend the net is what they need. Connor McDavid's putting up some more points now. He had a 3-point week. And she had Radko Gudas. Looks like she dropped him. She likes to drop defensemen during the week and pick up free agent defensemen. But she gets Shesterkin back. And Tristan Jarry's played well for her, Stork. I guess he gave up quite a few goals last week, but he doesn't have as great a save percentage. But the Penguins, as long as they win, she gets the wins in the win column. But Shesterkin is back. John Quick, I think she had John Quick for a little bit. I thought John Quick played outstanding in relief of Shesterkin, but the Rangers have Shesterkin back. I think Alex can get back in it. She's at 3-2-1, and Mark improves to 4-2-0. So we'll see how those go. Mark, as we said, takes on me, the Adden Americans, and the Cherry Bombs will take on Dan Hall's Killer Bunnies. Dave just pounded the heck out of Nick's Frozen Norseman, like we said, 16-3. Nick puts up a lot of points. He only lost by 2. He had more goals than Dave, 14-11. Both teams' power plays are really good. Where Nick got blown out of the water is he doesn't have any goaltending, Stork. Dave ruled that. Nick was 0-3. Who was Nick's goalies? He's struggling with Markstrom. Well, I guess he just picked up Markstrom. He had Sam Maltenball and Peter Mrazek. So he has kind of a weird stable. And he picked up Connor Ingram, it looks like, for the start tonight if he is in nets. I'm not sure if him or Vamelko starts.
He is. No, I believe he's in tonight.
Okay. He's got him in his lineup right now. But he picked up Jacob Markstrom as well. I think he dropped the other two I just mentioned. But Nick's struggling to find goaltending right now, and I think that's what's affecting him because he's got a great lineup. We talked about Sam Reinhart. He had 3 points for him last week. Erik Karlsson on the back end putting up points, 4 points. Ross Colton's done with that suspension. He had a great week for the Colorado Avalanche with 3 points. Steve Stamkos, feels like I'm not hearing too much about him. He's a -6, but he puts up points.
Yeah.
And still gets in some good face-off numbers. Claude Giroux, 21 face-off wins. 36 face-off wins for William Karlsson. Holy crap for the Vegas Knights. So Nick's got some good offensive players. He needs to find goaltending, Stork. I think that's where he took it on the chin here. As far as Dave, he's just humming. Demko in nets. And Jordan Bennington has actually been playing pretty good, Stork. What do you think of Benner in St. Louis? GAA of 0.62. 0.62 for Dave last week. He had a shutout.
Yeah. He has his moments. I mean, he has been known as a solid goaltender, but he's struggled the last couple of seasons. And St. Louis, of course, has struggled along with them. But, yeah, I mean, in this league, you've got to have some decent goaltending to go anywhere. Having a good offense is not enough to carry the mail for 21 games. So any team that's looking for goaltending, they might want to strap it on now because you're going to need it as the season progresses.
So Dave and his pro he's enjoying the riches of Mark Scheifele. I think Mark Scheifele's had a great year for the Jets, putting up points. He had 4 last week. Jack Hughes in his return last week, he put up 2 points. Gensel's 5-point week. Dave is getting it all from all of his guys, and we didn't even talk about Elias Pettersson. Pettersson was a -3, but I think the Canucks right now are the most impressive team for my money. Dave looking very solid. I know we might have mentioned this already. I like Philip Hronek. He's more of a defensive guy, I would think, but he shoots the puck.
Yeah.
11 shots, and he's got a hard shot. So Dave is looking good, but his kryptonite's Mark Raymond. You got a prediction of that match?
What for next week? This week's match?
Yeah, this week's match.
I think Probert is going to. It's going to be a close one, but I've got Probert winning this week.
All right.
As much as that makes me sick to say, but
boo-hoo.
Boo.
So Wendigo, let's go to that one. They beat the Killer Bunnies 12-6. Whalen, like I said, he likes mercenaries at goaltending. He'll pick up the odd goalies. Whalen had 45 points, Stork, 16 goals and 29 assists. He's got a good team. I think Don Cherry picked him to go to the finals just to lose. Danny Hull is struggling on the offensive front, just 9 goals, -6. He lost every skater category except block shots, and he only won that one by 3 block shots. So Hully got his points last week from goaltending. That's where Whalen always struggles. So if you can get goaltending on Whalen, you might be in that match. But Whalen finds a way to beat you. He also had 3 GWGs, game-winning goals. Looking at Hully's team, Cole Perfetti and the Jets, they're getting production from him. Hull is enjoying the ownership of William Nylander. That's easily his best player right now. 5 points. Charlie McAvoy had 3 points. And Owen Tippett, what about this guy for the Flyers? I was curious if he was on a team. I was going to look. I'm sure Hully had him a long time ago, but that guy is – I've watched a few Flyers games. That guy is actually a pretty good player. Oh, and Timmy Stutzel over there in a global series, he's on Dan Hull's team. 3-point week there. What did you think of his game winner with 2 seconds left against Detroit? That baseball bat swing?
That was crazy.
That was one of the goals
Good
of the year.
hand-eye coordination for sure.
So Hull not getting really good goaltending from John Gibson, and he has Joseph Wall there for your Leafs. Whalen, JT Miller's having a great year for him. 5-point week last week. Nikita Kucherov, a 4-point week. What about David Pastrnak, a guy I could have drafted? Tage Thompson's out, buddy. Long term, I think he had a wrist injury, right? And then he got hit in the leg or something. I didn't even watch that game.
Wrist. He's got a wrist issue.
Makes me sad, Stork. I passed up on Pasta, who just puts up a 6-point week. Shea Theodore on the blue line put a 6-point week up for Whalen. So Whalen put a lot of points up. He has Pavel Buchnevich, 4-point week. So Whalen's getting offensive production. And Whalen at this point on his roster, Darcy Kemper has not been playing for the Capitals. He's been picking up Reimer or Joey Decord, two journeyman backup guys. Reimer and Joey Decord. Whalen is has a system. He is not a believer in the goaltending. We'll see who he has this week. But
they could back up and it'll turn around and bite him one day. So
yeah, we'll see.
As the season gets longer and longer, that, like I said, that's when goaltending is going to really matter. And you better have at least one number 1 guy out there, or it could be trouble.
And that brings us to my matchup versus Nova. It was a 14-5 win over Scott. Our all-time series is now deadlocked at 2 apiece. Scotty, like I said, ran into some scheduling problems. He did not want to drop a lot of people, he was saying. I enjoyed a 5-point week from Braden Point. I watched some of his games this week, Storky. This guy's a solid player, buddy.
Easily consistent.
I'm terrible in faceoffs, but he's probably my best faceoff guy. No, the rookie Adam Fantilli actually had more faceoff wins, 14 to points 13. But other than that, I'm struggling in the dot, buddy. But Wyatt Johnston for me had a great week last week. I'm surprised he didn't get a 3 stars 2 weeks ago, I should say. Last week he didn't have any points for me, so he cooled off a bit. But what about Val Nichushkin? I picked him up, and he had 5 points this week, Stork, for the Colorado Avalanche. 4 goals, 1 assist, buddy. And I also had a 8-point week from Cale Makar, like we said, #1 star. 1 goal, 7 assists. So that helped me get the win over Scotty. Shout out to Matt Barzell. Islanders not really offensive. He had 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points on the West Coast swing there. So those are the guys that put me over the hump. Storky, my goaltending wasn't that great. Well, actually, it was pretty good. Cam Talbot was 2-0, and Connor Hellebuck was 2-0. So what am I talking about?
Yeah.
Save percentages off the chart. That also kicked. Yeah, I was thinking of the previous week. I could have had better goaltending. But Talbot, Hellebuck, tip of the cap. You guys got me the win. Scotty, he had a GWG from Sean Couturier, but he had him on the bench Saturday, Stork, when he beat the Vegas Golden Knights. What do you think of that? Couturier, that's where the injury passed of him.
But you got to worry that he's only going to play 4 minutes in the game before he gets hurt. So, yeah, I'd be a little leery about putting him in the lineup too. So
that one could have been. He did end up beating me in that category of the GWGs 2-1, anyways. But I beat him 36-1 in offensive points. So and for some reason I'm just terrible at plus minus. I was actually even this week, so I'm enjoying great power play success this year, Stork. I'm usually beating guys in those categories.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to be posting the team leaders today and update everybody on those stats. So.
Yeah, shout out to Scott, 178 faceoff wins. I had 46, so just never even consider that worrying about that category this week. Other standouts for Scott's Nova Fire Brigade, 4-point week for Rantanen. His stud blue liner, Morrissey there in Winnipeg, 6 points. Zaka's doing a great job in Boston, got him a 3-point week, and a 4-point week for Brock Nelson at center, who's a big-time face-off machine. Barkov is out for him. He was playing good until he went out. He's got a lot of guys on the IR still. Couture, Jake Wallman got hurt there in Sweden, and Luke Schen's been on the IR for a bit. Goaltending, he just didn't get a lot out of Aiden Hill this week. And Linus Allmark went 1-0. So, and Boston just was a light schedule. So I think that's where Scott struggled. I expect Scott to be back in the thick of things here. And he will take on Waylon this week. So Waylon has an all-time record of 3-0 versus Scott. So there's a lot of 3-0 scenarios this week, Stork. Which matchup do you think has the best shot at a first ever win? Nick, over you?
No, that's not going to happen. Like I said, week 7 is very strange. I don't know if you've noticed the schedule, but we normally have like a ton of games on Tuesday and Thursday. And this week we have none. No games Tuesday, no games Thursday. And it's got a lot to do with the American Thanksgiving week. Yeah. They don't want to interfere with football on Thursday. So, I mean, I understand that. But it's a strange week. And teams this week, Monday, Saturday, and Sunday are huge for all the teams this week, which is very strange because usually, like I said, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is usually the big days where lots of games and lots of points are up. But it's going to be, like I said, tonight's games, and then we got Saturday and Sunday is going to be big. Not much going on during the week though, so except for Wednesday, of course. But yeah, it's going to be a strange week. Teams are going to have to watch out for the schedule to make sure they're not piling up all the players on Wednesday and Friday, which is the big days this week, Wednesday and Friday. And they're usually relatively quiet days in the NHL. So it's a strange week this week, albeit, like I said, with a Thanksgiving and everything like that. But teams will have to keep an eye on that for sure.
I'm just going to go out there and say it. Us Americans do it all wrong, man. football. I mean, I totally get hockey players give them the day off. That's cool, but I hate Thanksgiving as far as I'm not a big football fan. Stork.
There's a
I
game
want
on Friday.
I want to watch hockey.
There's a
Oh,
game
I
on
know that
Friday, Jimmy.
they have to get in the Black Friday thing. These
Yeah.
football.
I mean,
The
like,
schedule,
wow, a game
football.
on Friday?
I'm so over football, buddy, but that's for another conversation. But like you said, it's going to be weird Tuesday. I was really disappointed by that. So as far as fantasy hockey league with the 3 goaltending rule start minimum, be
That's what you
prepared
have to
to look
watch
out.
out for, Wednesday
Yeah,
and Friday, because that's when all the games are, and you can only put one goaltender in. So
yeah.
teams will have to watch their goaltending this week for sure.
So tonight there's 7 games. I thankfully have 1, I hope. Tuesday, like you said, no games. Wednesday, I believe it was 15 or 14.
Yeah.
Thursday, obviously, nothing. Thanksgiving. Friday was 15.
Ah,
Saturday's kind of lighter for a
quiet
Saturday.
for a Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some 8 or 9 games. I can't remember. And Sunday, I don't remember being a lot either. So
No, there's
this
like
is
5 or something.
This is going to be a unique week, man. If you're a team that needs to get back in it, you can get back on, take advantage of the schedule. Make sure your team has the advantage. You might be able to sneak out a victory. As this is the end of our first round of divisional matchups for the first meetings. So get that division record beefed up in your favor. You'll be sitting pretty there as the season winds down. So, Storky, man, it's been good talking hockey with you. Is there any topics out there that we missed that you're looking forward to?
I'm really sorry, Nick. I feel terrible for your team. Hopefully you'll bounce back next week, but Langley wants this one badly. That's all I got to say.
Hopefully we can get a stipulation between you guys. I know it's the first of 3 meetings. Maybe you want to hold off for the season series or something.
He's going to run out of Leaf logos. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. He already owes me. He owes you. That's 2 weeks full of shows.
I've already got one in the copper, so I'm going to get another one after this week. So
that's epic. So yeah, you guys play one more time, right? You and Minnesota, as far as Toronto versus Minnesota.
We play in Minnesota, or no, I think it's in Toronto actually.
Yeah. Okay, because that matchup in Sweden was a Minnesota home game. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I know I play, or my team, not me. The Capitals play at Minnesota, so Nick has an opportunity to have me have a Minnesota Wild logo. But the rate he's going, he's out for a century right now on bets. So I enjoy that, buddy. So Nick's not here to defend himself.
Ghost like Swayze, man. Ghost like Swayze.
Yeah.
We're going to have a hard time finding him.
We'll see if we can get him on for episode 9 and review this week. Stork, you already enjoyed your Canadian Thanksgiving, but have another plate of turkey on American. Enjoy the games this week.
Always do, man.
I am off all week. That's why I enjoy Thanksgiving so much.
Yeah, me too. So
this is the first week I nab on the calendar every year at work because I just like this time of year. I like Thanksgiving. I don't put my Christmas decorations till after Thanksgiving, Stork.
No.
Don't be one of those people.
I don't put mine up until December. December 1st, I start thinking about Christmas deck. Otherwise, I don't want to see a Christmas tree until then. So
I'll start to station some stuff ready, and but I'm waiting until after my belly's full to worry about that crap. So Black Friday is going to be epic for hockey. Unfortunately, nothing going on tomorrow. Maybe that's the day I started to organize my Christmas stuff.
There you go, man.
Not putting it up yet.
You got tomorrow, and then you can't do it Thursday. So
yeah,
tomorrow's your day, man.
Attaboy. I really appreciate you joining me, Stork, as always. Should be an interesting week. I'm really looking forward to tonight's slate. 7 on the schedule. Let's enjoy that hockey, man. And we'll talk to you next week.
All right, buddy. Good luck, everyone.
Right. Yeah, good luck to all the league. As you see, the scoreboard is up and ready to go. Lots of teams looking for their first ever win against an opponent in their division. Good luck. As Badger Bob always said, it's a great day for hockey. We'll talk to you next week. I'm the mailman, the commish, Jimmy Milstead, Deputy Kevin Stork. We'll talk to y'all. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the pucks.
Take care.
Good night.